Original post, February 2, 2024. Sorry, but this post will have a lot of bad energy and I'm terrible at writing in English, so if anyone is going to read the post, I'm sorry for all the grammatical errors that are likely to be in the post. So a few days ago I, 25 female, found out that my sister, 24 female, has been sleeping with my boyfriend, now ex, 25 male. For 1 year or probably more. They always had a close relationship, but I obviously took it as something innocent. I don't like video games, but my sister does, so they talked a lot by text and I thought it was about games they like until I found out that no. They talked a lot about their secret dates while I was working and in college. I found pictures, videos and a lot of other disgusting things in the chats between my ex and my sister. My pathetic sister found pleasure in asking my pathetic ex all the time if she's smarter or prettier than me. She even compared our private parts. We're both pretty. She's actually thinner and prettier than me, and even if she's an introvert she has her group of friends, so I really don't understand where she got so much venom towards me. Our parents never compared us or anything like that, and she was always the one asking my ex to compare both of us in the chats. The first thing I did was throw all my ex-boyfriend's things out of the apartment. I insulted him in 1,000 ways and I kept the PC that I gave him for Christmas. I didn't speak a single word to my sister for over a week, and she didn't contact me like the coward she is until yesterday when she sent me a message trying to justify herself by saying that it was a mistake. Yes, a mistake that lasted more than a year, and that I should forgive her because we're sisters, and at one point I thought, should I be the mature person in the situation who doesn't let resentment speak for her? But then I realized that I've never been that kind of person. I took my phone and wrote a long message to my sister that I would love to write here, but I am sure that I would break the rules since I called her out in every possible way, and I wrote a lot of personal things too. I told her how much of a failure she is and how she has always envied me, and that's why she needed to feel what it's like to be me for a second of her sad life. She sent me a voice message crying and saying that she's in a very weak moment mentally, but she's still with him, and I shouldn't make her feel worse and that she regrets it. I just reacted to her message with a laughing emoji, and didn't even hear the long voice message until the end. Was it a low thing to attack her with all her flaws? Yes, but it's lower to betray your sister and believe that she's going to forgive you just because you share blood with her. Honestly, I feel really good after sending her that message and feel that it was therapeutic to take out everything. I feel to give closure to that. I've never used a PC for gaming, but I'm looking for tutorials on YouTube about how to download The Sims. I helped my sister in every moment of her life. I literally fought for her when she was being bullied during high school. I helped her thousands of times to make friends. I even accompanied her everywhere she wanted. It is a betrayal that really hurts and I will never forgive, never. It hurts me that she slept with someone I loved, but it hurts me a lot all the things I read in those chats, how she enjoyed watching him compare me to her, or how she asked him about personal things about our relationship just to laugh at it. She's dead to me and my parents know it. I don't even care if I'm a bad person like them. This is something I can't forgive, and I don't even feel bad for my reaction. Update 1, February 2, 2024. Thank you for all the nice comments you left me. Many wrote to me with tips for The Sims and I'm really grateful. Thanks for the game recommendations even though I'm really bad at playing action game. The last action game I played was Resident Evil 4 on the PS2 a long time ago, and it was because I had a crush with Leon Kennedy. He would never cheat on me, by the way. As a token of appreciation, and because I also like it when the app uploads the whole gossip, I will put here half of the message I sent to my sister. The message I sent her was really long and I cut out the parts where I talk about very private things or when I insulted her to not make the post too uncomfortable, because I was really hurt and angry at that moment and I talked about many personal things in the text. I'm sorry if it sounds weird in English. I did my best to translate it and I had to remove a lot of parts. I'm not interested in hearing any of your excuses. I believed you when a problem she had with her ex-friend group happened because I really trusted that you would never do something like that, but now I understand why everyone leaves you alone and you deserve it. What you did to me is crappy and you know it, but you didn't care because you spent a year being the whore of X's name without any shame, and now that I found out everything you went days without talking to me because you were a coward, and on top of that you still don't care about what you did to me. You're only talking to me because dad probably stopped talking to you and you're running out of money, so you want to fix this so he gives you money again. You were always an asshole. But don't you think it's a lot to be my boyfriend's second woman? How little respect do you have for yourself? We're sisters. I don't even know what's going on in your head because I don't understand what's wrong with you. Girl, I read all the messages between you, and you even started comparing our bodies. You're sick. You know that I never did anything for you to do this to me and I loved you. But everything turned out really well for you because he's with you, so enjoy that feeling and the love you two have for the other for now, because you are going to be really lonely later and you are going to go back to your cave, but this time, I am not going to be there to pity you like every time I did before. Stay with him. There's nothing that interests me less than fighting for an idiot who is surely going to leave you, but let me make it clear to you that you're not going to hear about me again. This dies here. We are not sisters anymore. If I see you on the street, then I'm going to cross to the opposite sidewalk to not see you. Update 2, May 17, 2024. They broke up. Nobody's surprised. When all of this happened, my parents scolded my sister and she got offended and didn't speak to our parents except to ask them for money. She asked them for money to buy things for her career, but then my aunt told my parents that my sister actually used that money to buy my ex some sneakers. My parents never gave her any money from that day on. She's an idiot, to be honest. My parents started to pay for us to go to a private college, and the only thing we have to do is literally study. The only thing she had to do was take her study seriously, but she didn't, so my father got tired and hasn't sent her money for months. My ex discovered the post because he said it went viral on Facebook, and obviously he recognized the story. He contacted me to apologize and said he knows he did wrong by hurting me like that, but my sister manipulated him, and it was a total mistake. I told him he can shove his apologies in up his ass. Meanwhile, my sister and I have only crossed paths a few times, but she always avoids me because she thinks I'm going to hit her. We're not going to the same classes, so we luckily don't see each other too much. Anyway, a few days ago she went to our parents' house saying that she broke up with my ex, I don't know why. And that she felt really sad and had an anxiety attack. I don't know exactly what they talked about since I wasn't there, but my mother told me that she told my sister that she knew what was going to happen when she slept with him, and my sister justified herself by saying that they're in love, so my mother and her just argued again and my sister left. Now she doesn't talk to anyone in the family except our grandmother to ask for money. I know my sister is not going to change her bad habits, and she didn't learn anything from this. I even think she will get together with my ex again because they're just toxic with each other, but it's her life to ruin, not mine, and I don't care anymore. The bright side, I sold the PC to a guy from Reddit that saw my post, and that really saved me from having to keep paying the dues. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play The Sims much, but I prefer the extra money. My ex had told me that he wanted the PC back, but I told him that then he should pay the remaining dues, and he said no. So the idiot wanted the PC for free even though he slept with my sister. I know it's a boring update and probably everyone wanted that the update was my sister begging for forgiveness and my ex suffering, but no, they are just two idiots who deserve each other and nothing more happened. But even today I received a message asking me for an update. Story 2, my wife had a threesome with her best friend and husband years ago and they want to do it again. Original post, May 14, 2024. I've known this for a long time, but when my wife was younger she had a few threesomes with her best friend and her husband, then boyfriend. This was years before we even met, and she told me early in our relationship just so there would be no secrets. I've never had a problem with my wife being around her best friend alone, since the threesome didn't involve much girl on girl, but more sharing her boyfriend. And for that reason, I've had trouble throughout our marriage being around both of them. I just have trouble having a normal conversation knowing that this guy has had sex with my wife. My wife doesn't think anything of it and is completely comfortable. It's just something she did for a little while then stopped because she wasn't into it anymore once the taboo thrill wore off. She can even talk about it with them as casually as she talks about a concert they went to. However, she doesn't do this when I'm around because she knows it makes me uncomfortable. Anyway, we were all together last weekend and her friend had gotten a little drunk and brought it up. My wife quickly shut her down, but the impression I got was that there had been a lengthier conversation leading up to this that I didn't know about. Later on, my wife told me that her friend and husband had asked if she and I were interested in doing something. They were down for whatever we were comfortable with. But my wife admitted that they really wanted her again, but with me watching. My wife knows there is no way in hell I would be down for that, and neither would she. My wife stopped doing that with them for a reason, and that's before she got married and had kids. My wife has told me to just forget they said anything, but holy crap, how can I do that now? I swallowed being around them when these incidents were well in the past, but now that they are openly lusting for my wife, I don't know if I feel comfortable with her or me being around them. Am I wrong here? How do I navigate this? I don't want to tell my wife to break off her friendship, but something I feel needs to be done. TLDR, my wife had a threesome with her friend and husband and they want to do it again. Now I don't want them around anymore. Edit. Thanks for all the comments. I'm glad I'm not blowing this out of proportion and my response is normal. For context, I do want to add that they all were together 3 times and my wife stopped it simply because she stopped being into it. She only participated because her friend was bragging about her boyfriend's skill in the bedroom and insisted that she try it. She did, and she found that no amount of skill could overcome the fact that she wasn't very attracted to him. My wife also really isn't into girls. She participated with her friend, but it was a first and last for her. Just not her thing. So I really am not worried about her doing anything with them because she had ample opportunity before we met and she passed. Also, a lot of people are criticizing my wife for not telling me about the conversation, but I'm actually fine with that. She said no for both of us. I'm not angry at her for that. I'm angry at them for trying to basically cuck me. Relevant comments. Comment 1. I think there is much more to this story. I think it is downright strange that you and your wife are in contact with them, let alone friends, after you started dating wife. I'm almost positive that there is more going on than you know. Sure, it is possible that your wife hasn't had any contact with either of them since you began dating. But to me, it really seems odd to be in a friendship with people that had sex multiple times with her. Like others have said, it is like an ex-spouse or dating partner being friends with her while married to you. OP. Her best friend is a swinger. It's just that simple. Her and her husband have sex with different people, sometimes together, sometimes separate. It's just part of their lifestyle. It's not how my wife is. In her early 20s, when she was more sexually adventurous, she was down for this stuff, but that's in the past. Update 1, May 16, 2024. After I posted, I had a deeper conversation with my wife about her friends, and expressed my discomfort about being around people that are lusting after my wife and fantasize about having sex with her in front of me. She said she understood how I felt but told me that there was absolutely nothing I should be concerned about. To my wife, her friend and her husband are not serious people. They are fun to be around, but that's it. She experimented with them in her early 20s, but she was a different person then. She was very sexually adventurous in college and right after, and did a lot of things she'd never think of doing now. She said she's a 35-year-old married mother of 2 with a serious career, and she simply isn't interested in behaving like that anymore. Not to mention that she is happily married and loves me. While I understood all that and I do trust her, I told her that my point still stands. I am just not comfortable around them. My wife then asks if we could talk it out with her friends, and if after that talk, if I'm still uncomfortable, then she will agree to whatever I am comfortable with. So I agreed, and we met last night at our house. They both apologize and swear to never bring it up again. But I can tell that neither think of this as a big deal, and from their tone it seems like they think I am being overly sensitive. So I raise that point and they concede that they do think that I am being silly. They told me that the time they had with my wife was a very memorable experience, and that they wanted to experience it again, and simply asked if my wife would be interested in participating with me or with my approval. They say that they would have been happy to allow me to participate in any way I liked, but did admit that their biggest fantasy was to basically double-team my wife while I watched. But my wife had no interest. They confirmed that she shut it down quickly. They brought it up later while they were drunk because they figured maybe I would have some interest, and if I did, I could convince her to do it. My wife's friend then says that once I let go of my inhibitions, she guarantees that I would enjoy myself. How they think I would enjoy any experience that involves someone else fucking my wife, whether I am actively involved or not, is beyond me. I am about to say this when my wife jumps in. She tells them that I will not be enjoying anything. She says she's not 22 anymore and has babies asleep upstairs. She tells them that neither of us will be having sex with anyone else, and she thought she made that very clear. It got a little awkward after that and they left shortly after. My wife hugged me when they left and said she was sorry for asking me to talk with them. That was not how she expected that to go. We talked a little more and she admitted that hearing their stories is a fun escape, and even got flattered when they would tell her how much they loved being with her. But admitted that it's become a little too real and she could not stand the thought of watching me with someone else, and understands how I feel. So we agreed to take a good long break from seeing them. My wife isn't going to completely cut her best friend out of her life, but we are going to manage how we see them. No more drinking, no more her alone with both of them in their home or ours. Shopping, lunch, and similar activities is where she is going to keep the friendship, and I can live with that. Relevant comments. Comment 1. Your wife is 1 in a million and didn't deserve any of the hate she got in your last post. Neither of you have done anything wrong and you guys handled this situation perfectly. OP. Thanks, I never blamed her. She has been upfront with me from the beginning of our relationship about the things she's done. Comment 2. Are you sure your wife doesn't want to have threesomes anymore? OP. My wife had ample opportunity before we met to do this again with them. She stopped it after 3 times, and they tried for an entire year before we met to convince her to do it again, but she said no. It just wasn't something she was into. The girl-on-girl stuff isn't her thing, and she isn't very attracted to the husband. Once the taboo of the whole thing wore off, she was no longer interested. The wife's friends are total pieces of crap. Like she said she's not into it, so you try to get her husband in on it? Also, I know some people are into it, but how do you think asking someone to let you screw their wife while they watch is going to go? Like at least offer to swap or something. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.